Hello, welcome to this video. I'm going to walk you through my code that is hosted on CodePen, which is on how to add a simple theme switch to your website. Basically, how to switch between dark mode and light mode on your website. Let's get right into the video. As you can see, all the code that you need is right here and it's functional. Now what I've done is I've imported this code onto my desktop to be able to explain everything better. I have 3 files, my HTML, my CSS, and my JavaScript file. All of them are linked right here, my CSS file and my JavaScript file. This last script is for my icons that I have used in this project. What I've done is I've given the body a class of light and I've placed 2 icons within the body. These 2 icons share a common class, which is text. I have a video on how to add icons to your website, and I talk about why icons are sometimes treated as text. Now in my CSS file, I've reset the default values for margin and padding to 0. I've created a background color, which is a gradient for dark mode, and another gradient for light mode. Now I have a default color for my text. The whole idea is any text that I have on the website will have that color. And as you can see, that class is on the icons in this case. Now in my JavaScript, I'm going to shift my code to the left side so I can demonstrate what is going on better. In my JavaScript, I'm basically loading the icons from my HTML file. I have my moon icon right here and I'm storing it in this variable. I have my sun icon right here. I'm storing it in this variable. I'm selecting them by their class names with the query selector. And I'm also selecting the body using its tag name and any elements with a class text. I want it to be stored, all of them to be stored in this variable. They'll be stored as a node list, something that's called a node list in JavaScript. Now, I'm declaring a variable called theme. And in this block of code, what I'm saying is I want to put an event listener on the moon icon. And this event listener is listening for a click. Anytime this moon icon is clicked, this function is triggered. And what this function does is it switches the theme. And that's why I have the theme switch comment here. Now, when this function is triggered, the first thing that happens is the body is given a class name of dark. I'm going to demonstrate that within my developer tools. I have a video on how to use developer tools within browsers. And I talk more about the DOM within that video. Now, this is the DOM. If you pay attention to this line here, when I click on the moon icon, the class is switched from light to dark. And that's the first thing that happens within the JavaScript code. The next thing that happens is the current theme is stored as a string within this variable theme that I declared here initially. Now, we don't want a situation where if the user reloads the page or they close the browser and open it another time, their preference is reset. We want to keep their preference stored somewhere so it can be retrieved when needed. And the best way or the best place for that preference to be stored is the local storage. To access the local storage, you click on the arrow here for more tabs and then click on application. On the left side, the local storage is right here, but for this page, you have to click underneath the local storage and then we have our page here. Now we are setting some values to the local storage. The local storage works in a key value pair. So we have a key and its corresponding value. And this key pair value are both strings. For the dark mode, I want to use the key called theme, which is a string as you can see here, and this variable, which in this case is storing the string dark. Now, after this is stored, So when I click, you can see the value has changed, or the value dark is stored in the key called theme. After this happens, what we want to do is check within the variable theme if there's a dark string stored within it. Now I'm saying if this is true, we want to loop through each text. Looping through the text, we want to call a function, and the function is right here. And we are saying that for each text item, we want to apply this color, which is this green right here. Now going on to this code, this block of code, sorry. It performs the same function as this one, just that it activates the light mode theme. So here it changes the body class to light. It stores the string light in the variable theme. It sets the local storage key to theme, and it sets the value to light. When I click on it, now the value is light here, and the key remains theme. And then we are checking if the variable theme has a value of light. We want to loop through all the text and make it this dark blue color. We've been able to store our theme. Now we want to be able to load it and apply it to the web page in case the browser is shut down or the user reloads the page. And that's when you get to this part. What we are saying is each time the page is loaded, we want to trigger this function called load theme. Now we want this variable, which we've declared at the top, to store something. What we are storing is something that we are going to obtain from the local storage. Now we are going to get the item. Initially we were setting the item, so we're storing the item there. Now we want to load the item, and the item that we want to load has a key called theme. What we are saying is if that key has a value of light, we want to loop through all the text and apply this color. This function is the same as this one here, right here. We want to loop through that and apply the color, which is the dark blue color. And we also want to give the body a class of light, and that will apply the light theme. Else, if the theme doesn't have a value of light and it has a value of dark, we want to loop through the text on the page and give it a green color. And basically that's how you set a theme switch for your website. Using this code, what you want to keep in mind is your background color for the web page and your text color. So I'll leave a few comments to help guide you more on how to go about it. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, and share.